one of the things I notice is every time I get into my comfort zone, nothing new happens. There's no progress. There's no fulfillment. Tony Robbins talks about the biggest step to happiness is progress. If progress stops, that's when you start going into depression. So we want continuous progress. And that's why I say this retirement thing is probably null and void for most driven entrepreneurs, because they're driven by progress. So you can't retire. What's the progress? So maybe you'll make a lot more impact or something. You'll still do something that produces impact. So I think staying in your comfort zone, that's when you start going into depression. That's when you start looking at external factors to give you some sort of validation for yourself.
Welcome, fellow entrepreneurs and goal getters, to Entrepreneurial Elevation, Unleashing Greatness Within, with myself, your host, Kelly Beveridge, and my special friend today, all the way from South Africa, Eugene van der Merwe. And I did not pronounce that correctly for all my South Africa friends who are listening yet. Eugene, I know it's going to be okay. And so before I get started, I just want to remind everybody, please like and leave a comment if you enjoyed this episode, ask questions. Head over to my YouTube channel, Entrepreneurial Elevation, and subscribe. You can watch us on there. And I'm really excited for today's episode because I have somebody on who I'm really inspired by. I met him coming right into the pandemic about 2019 when I was in South Africa. We were doing some personal development together. And he's just amazing when it comes to taking himself on. I was just saying to him that every time I talk to him, he leveled himself up. And I love spending time with people like that. He has started out as a digital marketer with a digital marketing agency called Van Studios, and he's grown his business to do so many things. He's a business coach. He runs events. He runs retreats. He knows sales funnels inside and out. He's an expert with these kinds of things, and he now has a global business. He's making a global impact with other entrepreneurs, and I know him personally where his heart is always in the space of how can I leave other entrepreneurs better than I found them, so that they can make money and they can succeed and build a community. And so I'm always watching him to see what he's doing. And so I was like, you've got to be on my podcast. Another reason I wanted on my podcast is because he just did something really special where he took himself on and challenged him to go from $0 to 1 million rand, which is about 75,000 Canadian, in 90 days, which is a real big stretch in South Africa. And doing it without using any of his other business tools that he had, or using his employees, for example. And so today's episode is going to be, and I took this quote from his Facebook: true growth lies in the unexplored territory outside our comfort zone. It's about making a conscious decision to shift, stretch, and discover what we're truly capable of. And so we're going to talk about that today and dive right in. So Eugene, welcome to my podcast. And if you can come on, share a little bit about your background and what inspired you to set such an ambitious goal.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. And thanks to everyone tuning in. Hope you enjoy this episode. If you have any questions, pop it in and Kelly will chat it out and we can get back to you on it. Just a bit about background. Entrepreneur, grew up in a fairly impoverished state, so it didn't have money growing up, and I think that's probably where some of it comes from. Like, I never want to be in a position like that again, and now I'm mastering to never be there. Alex Hormozy talks about 3 things that all successful people have. Number 1, they've got a state where they never want to go back to. They've got a future state that's pulling them, so they've got this push, they've got this pull, and then they've got this complex, almost like, I need to do this. This needs to get done and no one else is doing it. And I'm the only person that can do it. So I can definitely relate to that section. So coming from that, just grew up in a struggling past. And then at one point just decided I need to take my future into my own hands. And from there started small businesses, struggling, lonely, didn't have anyone to talk to. Started finding a tribe, started finding a coach, started finding mentors, and I'm just scaled up from there, and today running multiple successful businesses, big teams, multiple locations. I'm actually coming over to Florida in about 3 or 4 weeks. Traveling around there, we want to open up an entrepreneur resort that side, and then in September we're going to Bali and Spain, where we're doing resorts and retreats and stuff there as well. So yeah, being in this space today, and one of the big things for me, which probably isn't so big for everyone, because not everyone's into cars. For me personally, growing up, I always had a picture of a Ferrari on my wall. Like, can you imagine one day having that? And I had a few Porsches and stuff. And there's just something special about a Ferrari. And about a year ago, I bought my first Ferrari. So coming from my place where I was to now driving sport car, it's just such a cool space to be in, and I'm just so humbled that I get to be here. So why did I choose this particular goal? So I think it's, in any country, it's the same 0 to 1 million. It's just your currency that fluctuates. Whatever you're selling, for example, in South Africa, R1 million is a lot of money. It's equivalent to $1 million Canadian dollars or US dollars, whatever it is. Because we're also paying a tenth of what people are paying that side for it. So if I sold the same products there, it would just be a different price tag and you get to the same number. So I wanted to create this, but it's universal, that regardless what your currency is, you can be able to do it. Out of all my entrepreneur groups that I run and training and seminars, there's 3 main questions or 3 main excuses that comes up. So there's the saying that says you can either have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both, so choose wisely. Chose to have results, and I kept hearing these excuses. I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have resources. Like, scale your business. What's the next thing? I don't have time. Why don't you double this and you can do that? I don't have money. Why don't you do this and this? Oh, I'm already working my butt off. I don't have a team. I don't have anyone helping me. I don't have coaches. I don't have mentors. So I wanted to take that process, follow that Roger Bannister methodology, where it's impossible to run a 4-minute mile. And then as soon as he did it, like a month later, 10 other people did it, just because you see someone else doing it. So I wanted to go through that same process, just show them that mile can be run in under 4 minutes. So I created a brand new business, brand new website, brand new Facebook account, everything from scratch. And I did products and services that I haven't done before. So putting myself in a position almost as someone working, and now in the evening they want to start their side hustle, because that's what we're all about, creating the side hustle, digital nomad lifestyle businesses that generates cash flow for them from anywhere in the world, because I like to travel. I want to travel all over. I don't want to be bound to a location. So we started this brand new business. And what can we do? So I've done that before a few times. So what can I do to make it like really uncomfortable for me to be able to do this? So I kicked it off with myself and my fiance, and we said, we're not going to employ a person. We're not going to employ someone to help us. If someone helps us, it needs to be out of a partnership, joint win-win collaboration sort of thing. We're only going to spend time on this after 7 p.m. when most people get home. So only in the evenings we're going to work on it. And I'm going to use zero money. So even our first $50 that we used to just buy something, we had to go hustle on the streets and sold something to make $50. And then we took 50, made it 500. Now we had $500. Now we could run some ads. We partnered with someone else to create landing page for us, assuming, so we were in the space, we know nothing about online marketing or anything. So we had to go find people to do it for us. So through the whole process, simulating someone starting their side hustle, they don't have teams, they don't know the technical stuff, they don't have resources, they don't have money, all of that. Can we make, regardless the currency, $1 million or whatever your currency is, 0 to $1 million, rands, yen, whatever, in 90 days? And I don't know if I should tell it now at the end. Let's keep it for the end, and you can hear what we did.
Okay, cool. I like just listening to you, Eugene. There's so much you shared in there, right? That's just super inspiring for the people who are listening. And I was a part of your journey from the beginning when you shared the idea with me, so I've watched it unfold, and I just love it. And as you're talking, what's coming to mind for me is most people, if there isn't a need for change, they're not going to all of a sudden choose change. It usually comes out of necessity, right? Or pain or struggle before they make a decision to change. What I love about what you're sharing is it's the opposite of that in a way, where you were running a successful business. You didn't need to up your game. You didn't have to put yourself into a space of being uncomfortable, yet you chose that. You made a decision for that. And I love that message for people, because we could always choose to level up and learn more about ourselves and allow more into our life. And so I know, though, you did choose this challenge because you did have awareness that, like, hey, wait, I've got some limiting beliefs going on. Because the truth is, as a human being and as an entrepreneur, we're never going to arrive where we want to be, even if we're in flow or momentum or successful, right? There's always things to uncover about ourselves. And so can you first talk about that? Like, I know you talked about no time, no money, and resources to go to the next level. That's really common. Yet what was going on for you personally with the limiting beliefs inside, where I like to say awareness before change, right? So you had some awareness that some of this stuff was running for you and you wanted to bust it up. So what was some of the personal limiting beliefs that caused you to make this decision?
Yeah, so there's actually quite a few, and I think it's an ongoing process that we go through. There's no end point to business. There's no like, and I've made it. What are you going to do then? Let's say you retire at 40. What then? We are two entrepreneurs that can retire at 40. They are so driven by progress and innovation and change and the next thing and achievement. They'll just move on to the next one. So there's no end point in business. There's just a continuation. How do you win at business? By staying in business. You stay in business. That's how you win. So limiting beliefs is looking at some of the numbers that people are charging all over the world for some services, like your high-end coaches charging $1 million for 1 or 2 coaching sessions, whatever it is. You think it's difficult for me to think about it or see myself in a position where I can charge that amount of money to deliver the same services that I'm charging 100 of the amount for. So that was one of the first things. The other thing is something that says change only happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, which means whenever we're in a comfortable position, we'll never change, we'll never innovate, we'll never grow, because there's no growth inside of your comfort. All growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And it's almost like a rubber band. When you stretch a rubber band far enough, it'll never go back to the same space. So what can we do with art? Because life's going to put you there, whether you like it or not. Life's going to put you there at some point in time. So instead of life putting it there uncontrollable, why don't I do it in a controllable sense where I can continuously level up, level up, level up, level up. So for example, if you, let's say, take the Ferrari as an instance. You drive a Ferrari. Now, for whatever reason, you sell the Ferrari and you go drive an old Beetle or something like that. You know, I don't want to do this. I'm used to that, to do this. And now for you to get back to that is really quickly, and you understand that uncomfortable space that you're in. So what happens if we put ourselves outside of our comfort zone is, and it was uncomfortable. I don't know if we'll have time to go into details with it, but super uncomfortable. There was a night that I was like, I need to do something out. There was the thoughts, I don't want to use limiting words. So one of the words maybe is, there was thoughts about should I give up? Times that it got really tough, and luckily you were there coaching me throughout. So some of that was really difficult. So putting myself in this uncomfortable space, now we're done with it. Like a month ago we finished. And we are operating on a totally different level to what I was before the challenge. Now I set a new norm. Now I don't want to go back and drive the Beetle. I'm like, yeah, driving the Ferrari. I want to stay driving the Ferrari. I don't want to go back to the Beetle. Now your mind's stretched, can't go back to a previous state. So what is the next thing that will push ourselves up? And our next challenge, for example, because we continuously do this, it'll never end. It just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So next challenge, now you've got $1 million or rand or whatever your current, you've got $1 million. What can you do to take $1 million and turn it into 10 million in 90 days? So now I start zero. You've got some capital there. You've got some growth. You've got resources. You've got teams. You've got money. How do you move from that now to 10 million? Which I actually started thinking about in my perspective, it would be easier than going from 0 to a million. Because that first part of 0, you've got no proven concept, got no ideas. And I think that was probably one of the hardest parts was the first 2 weeks with you, our first session. So literally the first thing I did when doing this, I went and got a coach. I called you and I said, listen, you want to do a deal on this? I need a coach. I don't have money, etc. How does this look like? Literally the first thing I did, got in a session. My challenge started with the session with you, Billy. And for the first 2 weeks, it was just idea. So there's multiple different ideas. And the idea is a fallacy on its own. We can talk about later, maybe. Got stuck in this idea phase instead of the execution because you don't have a proven concept. You don't have something that's actually going to work. You don't have a roadmap or blueprint to say this works, just do that. When you got a million, you've got a proven concept, you've got a roadmap. Now it's just add a 0.
Yeah, man, I love that. And I have a few follow-up questions to everything you just shared because you're sharing a lot of really valuable information, Eugene, honestly. And I love what you're sharing in the way where what I'm hearing again is we all have energetic minimums, like our belief around what we're capable of creating. Let's just talk about money on one thing in every area of our life. Yeah, let's use money for an example. We have that energetic minimum of here's where I know I can get to, yet above that, my belief isn't there. And you raised that ceiling and you achieved it. So now you have that validation. You have all the new skills in your box, resources, belief in yourself, mindset to go to the next level. And that it's so important. That only does happen, though, outside your comfort zone when you're willing to set a goal in a way where you're like, I don't know how to do this. I always used to tell people, if you're setting goals, okay, and I really want the listeners to listen to this, and there's nothing wrong with this, yet if you want to attract more into your life or create more, better, or different, if you're setting a goal that you already in your mindset know how to do, you are not going to grow, okay? Your box is not going to expand, okay? And most people will do that, though, because they get scared of, but I don't know how. The unknown, the how-to is what they focus on. So the key is to set a goal that you desire in your heart because of the byproduct of the outcome and that you don't know how to do. And then you grow into the person worthy of that goal and have a whole new box of tools accessible to you. Okay. And that's what you did, Eugene. I have a few questions. The first one I want to ask is, what do you feel is the value of setting what I call a beehive goal, like a big, hairy, audacious goal? So that's my first question.
So just something to add on what you just mentioned as well. I think one of my biggest reasons for, let's call it, there's people that's a lot more successful than me. For the state where I was to where I am now, I'm the average entrepreneur, let's assume I'm fairly successful. One of the biggest reasons is I continuously do things that I do not know how to do it. As soon as you know how to do it, firstly, you're just thinking too small because then you're doing 2x. So I've got 1 client, now I'm going to get 2. So you're just 2xing. I've got 50 clients, I'm going to get 100. Just a continuation of what you're already doing. You already know how to do it. So firstly, you should never know how. Secondly, you should never even think about how. Think about what you want to do. Who's going to be in your team, who's going to be your partners to help you execute it, and when is your deadlines for each one of these sections, and that process will figure out how. We launched our new product now, for example, the $4,500 lifestyle business model. We can buy a business that will give you a lifestyle. I don't know how. How's it going to work? How's the system going to, I don't know how. I've got a team of really smart people that does that. This is what I want to do. This is the impact that it's going to have. This is the problems that I'm solving. That stuff you need to figure out. That is your job as the entrepreneur. The execution of it, the operational, functional levels in your business needs to be fulfilled by teams, by partners, by other people, not you. So if you're thinking how, you're just going to procrastinate. One of the things I notice is every time I get into my comfort zone, nothing new happens. There's no progress. There's no fulfillment. Tony Robbins talks about the biggest step to happiness is progress. Progress stops. That's when you start going into depression. So we want continuous progress. And that's why I say this retirement thing will be null and void for most driven entrepreneurs because they're driven by progress. So you can't retire. It's progress. So maybe you'll make a lot more impact or something. You'll still do something that produces impact. So I think staying in your comfort zone, that's when you start going into depression. That's when you start looking at external factors to give you some sort of validation for yourself. Alcohol and whatever else, adultery and
No, I love that, Eugene. And I like what you talked about external validation, because my experience too is when you set goals for one, wanting to make an impact, so taking it off of yourself, so wanting to make an impact, and then number two, you're wanting to grow personally and not for external validation. That's where some true blessings come in and true learnings, right? And okay, my second question is, you're setting this big, hairy, audacious goal for the reasons we've been talking about. And then I believe in business too, and I don't know, this is my own belief, that business is a marathon, right? It's a marathon. It's choosing into the long game, yet there's sprint within the long game, right? So it's a marathon with sprint. And I relate what you did is you have the marathon of your vision and your business and where you're going and the direction you're heading, the progress you want to make, right? And then you're like, I'm going to sprint for 90 days and just surpass everything I believe I'm capable of so I could play in the next level back into where my marathon is. And to your point, never going back to where I was, right? And so that's where these sprints are invaluable, because in that, when you put yourself under the pressure, by the way, pressure only comes from when we want something within and we don't know how to get it, right? So when you set something like a 90-day goal that is way beyond what you know how to do, right? Who you start to become and what you got to do in that sprint is where all the magic happens. Okay, so I want you to share, if you can, in your words, what lessons did you learn about yourself or in business in that 90 days, okay, that you didn't know before while you were in that space of sprinting?
So there's quite a few different ones. I was laughing now about 90 days. Don't know if you remember that Fast and Furious, right in the beginning, they had this quarter-mile race, that Fast and Furious movie with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And he's driving and he sits there in the car and he's like, I live my life quarter mile at a time. Fucking cheesy.
Diesel like coming out nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Really, at this point in time, one of the big things learned is we live our business life 90 days at a time. So I think one of the main things is what is truly possible when you focus, when you're committed and you're focused. But we keep getting distracted. So we make a bit of progress, then we run here, then we run there, and then we come back, and then we're only one step further. When you're truly committed and truly focused. And one of the things I'm going through now, which is also quite a difficult exercise in the process, is letting go of a whole bunch of stuff. Because I've known about focus, our core testament in our mastermind communities, clarity, focus, and action, which I'm not going to go into too much detail now. So I've heard about focus. Obviously, I haven't known it because it wasn't illustrated in my life. Kept getting distracted with other things. And I'm sitting at the space where I need to shift off all this stuff. And it makes me think of a metaphor. Is it possible to have a truly committed relationship? And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's just my perspective. When I'm, let's say, in a relationship and I'm sitting, hey, Kelly, yes, it's good seeing you. I had a long day. Sorry, just hold on. Jessica's messaging me on the side. Oh, sorry, what were you saying? Yeah, I'll be with you in a second. So we're getting distracted, dating 5 different people at one time, and we are attempting to have a committed relationship. Same in the business. Can you truly be committed and give that business the attention and the energy and the focus that it deserves to be able to scale while you're dating 5 other businesses on the side and you're busy here, you're typing here on the side? And then, so I think focus is one. Number 2 is we've been exercising it over the last probably year. And now with the 90 days, just got so much clarity on it, and we are going to scale it completely. If we don't make big strategic decisions while we're busy working. So we go away, we take 2 days, we reset, we shift away, don't think about work or anything like that, because the problem can't be solved on the same level of consciousness was created. So let's shift our state, get into a different level of consciousness, and then we can look at the business in an overarching perspective, make strategic decisions, build out a framework, choose what we're going to focus on, build out our action plan, next 5 moves based on Patrick and David. We set out our next 5 moves, come back for 90 days, execute. After 90 days, go back, re-strategize, rethink, execute. For 90 days at a time, as long as that ties in, so it's not just 90 days to whatever you want, 90 days that fits into our ikigai. What do we truly, what's our purpose? What's the lifestyle we want? What's the conditions, instructions that we're giving the business? You need to operate this way because this is the life I want. Don't tell me to work 16 hours a day and be on call 24/7 and. That's not the lifestyle I want. So you better give me what I want. So that 90 days of focus is really important, and doing it from a higher state, not from the state you are when you're busy executing. So I think that is probably one of the most important things that I learned about it. And then also the breakaway section. So through this 90 days, we've basically made 80% of our money in the last section of the 90 days. And a lot of that came from constantly asking yourself questions. And your mind plays through it and you start building, because it's a brand new business. So you don't know what's on the other side yet. You're constantly making all this assumption. And I was busy driving like a 6 or 7 hour drive down to this beautiful coastline that we've got here, from Shlanga, next to Belito. And we're driving there, spend some time there, and I'm driving back. My fiance's with me and she's sleeping. We're listening to audiobooks, business books. The information you consume is critical. Never listen to news and stuff like that, just off topic. I think our mindset, what we think about, is based on the information we consume, people we talk to, content we listen, movies we watch, etc. I'm listening to this podcast or audiobook, and probably for about 4 hours of silence, just listening to this, thinking about the business. And she wakes up, and I pause and I look at her, and I'm like, I've got like the next step. I know exactly what we need to do now. I've got all this clarity. It's like this veil just went open, and it's stuff that we've been working on. And for some reason, that click just went on for what I'm charging for things and what I can charge for something. And yeah, just from there came back, and within a week, we made a ton of money.
Oh my God. I love it. When you take yourself out of the energy and go recharge. And it's so true. And okay, I want to talk about something you talked about, that you made 80% of the money in the last stretch. Okay. Because most people will get started, they'll have their idea, they'll get into action, and they come up against obstacles or adversity or things they didn't know. And you even questioned it a few times. Should I be doing this? Maybe I should stop, right? And the truth is, that's normal thinking, yet most people do stop, right? They don't push through. They don't then sit in the discomfort and be like, okay, what's the solutions then? How do I move around this, over this, under this, to get to the other side? And most of what we want, our results, are on the other side of what we say our comfort zone. And so can you speak to that? Because maybe talk a bit about not necessarily the exact obstacles you came across, but the truth is, I know everything that you implemented didn't pan out. It's not like all of a sudden you set this goal and you took a step and that worked, and you took another step and that worked. That step and that worked. You were like, I took a step. What's working? What can improve? That didn't work. And you put time, effort, and energy and money into a few things that were massive that weren't the answer, right? And so talk about the mindset that it takes to keep moving forward through that struggle period where not everything is going the way you want it to go, so that you can get to the other side.
Yeah, I think that is probably one of the key success factors to success. Is, are you committed to do this even when it's not? Yeah. And your reason for doing it, your end of the rainbow, because I don't believe in goal setting anymore. I believe in creating a future state of what you desire. And everything that you do is actions that relates to it. Because we underestimate what we can do in 6 months if we're truly committed to it. And now by 6 months, you already achieved most of this. And now there's this new space that's opening up because you've got access to information that you didn't have previously when you set this goal. Now you're still stuck on this goal, and now you push through when this is no longer valid. So as long as it produces a certain future state, and I think that is critical, is to have a future state, because you're not doing this for the money. The money is a result of a certain amount of actions. As soon as you do it for the money and the business doesn't give you the money, then you quit. And I think one of the things, there's something that just comes to mind is a friend of mine mentioned something about, look, I enjoy a good party. I enjoy going out, having a good party, etc., as much as the next person. Probably a bit more. That fun, energetic guy. And I set the certain rules, like I do it on this particular day or on that particular day. And they said, you don't understand. I really enjoy it. That's why I keep doing it. So it's almost like, do you think I do not enjoy doing that? Do you think I enjoy waking up at 4:30 if I can sleep till 7? Do you think I enjoy sitting at 11 o'clock when I can be on the couch watching Netflix, whatever? I choose to do different things and to set up my environment in a certain space so that I don't get tempted by external factors to not do the things that truly matter. Because success is just that. Doing the right actions consistently for the time that it takes to be successful. That's it. Focus on the right stuff. Do the right things consistently long enough. And that's where they call it. I did the right things for the last 7 days and I still didn't make any money. 7 days? How many calls did you make? No, I made like 50 calls over the last 70 days. 50 calls. You should be doing 200 calls per day, not 50 calls over 7 days. Right action. So to answer the question is basically to have a bigger thing at the end. Don't do it for the money. There's something else. And once you start going through it, the money automatically starts flowing. Just a tip on that is create an environment that's conducive for you to follow the right. If you hang out with a bunch of guys that smoke joints every afternoon and you stay with them and you hang out, it's a matter of time before you start taking a puff of the joint. Don't put yourself, because our resistance is the same regardless who we are. Just because you execute on a high level doesn't mean your resistance is stronger or anything. The same resistance, you enjoy the same stuff in life. Just create an environment that doesn't put you in a position where you have to make a choice. Make the decision before you even get there to not go there, because this is more important. And I think the biggest reason why people don't do that, they don't know what is on the other side of the rainbow. They wake up on a Monday morning, it's like, cool, what am I going to do this week? Let's check my email. So you go into the whole week, you don't even know what you want to execute on. Now distraction comes along, how easy is it to take up from that distraction? Once you've got purpose and you follow your ikigai, now you're not going to get distracted with all this other stuff because you've got a bigger thing that I don't have time to go sit in a bar on a Wednesday evening because I'm freaking busy building an empire. I don't have time for your beers on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
For 2 beers with a bud.
Right? And the thing is, it's not like you're not saying you don't ever go and chill or spend time with friends or have other values outside your business. What I'm hearing you say, and I think it's crucial, is that you know what your values are. You know where your focus needs to be at this point in time. And when you're crystal clear on your purpose and the impact that you want to make, the direction that you're going, who you want to be doing it with, why you're doing it, the decisions become so much easier. And I always say control your environment, because there's a great book out there called Willpower Doesn't Work by Darren Hardy. And it's all about control your environment and make it easier for yourself, right? So eliminate those distractions. And the truth is, when you get to the other side, it's just going to open up the space for you to be able to do so much more. And so I love everything you're sharing, Eugene. So, P, I have a question, because, you know, you're making it sound easy in a sense, right? And I know it's not. I know it hasn't been an easy journey. What would you say to the people who are listening and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting inspired by this. I have ideas I've been wanting to put in place. Maybe I've been too scared, or I've been stuck on the how to, or I've been in like, I don't know how, all my reasons, excuses, justification. Yet that's it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna jump in. Obviously, making the decision is step number one. Step number two is getting into action. What would you say to people would be the first few things they could do to get their feet on the ground once they've made a decision?
It's going to be tough. So accept it from the get-go. If you know it's going to be tough and it gets tough, then you're like, cool, I knew it. Don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be tough. And I think there's no one-size-fits-all sort of solution. Here's my question, something else I wanted to talk about as well at some point, maybe have a follow-up session about work-life balance. What is that? It's a really interesting thing there. What can they do? Number one is going to be tough. Who is going to be your partners in the corner where you go sit, assume you're boxing, you go sit in the corner, you busted up, you're tired. Who's your ring manager and your coach and your whoever? Come on, you can do this. Just a little bit further, you can do this. Because once you push through that valley of despair, then you get to the successful. And that's when you start enjoying the fruits of your labor. We go up and then you're like, oh, I'm going to kill it. And then you realize, but crap, this is difficult. And then when you crash it up. And then what do? Go back to the start. Oh, this looks easy. Let's do this one. So whatever you do, it's going to be difficult. So who's going to be in your corner? Who's your partners? Who's your friends? Who's the people you hang out with? What conversations are you having with them? Who's your coach? The reason why I say that your people is so important is because it's not about the idea. The assumptions that you make about the idea is that 80% of your idea is wrong and anything. It's only when you start putting it into play, when you are in the game, start realizing what works and what doesn't work. Mike Tyson used to say, everyone's got a plan until I punch them in the face. So you've got a plan. Life's going to knock you. You better know this is not going to be easy. And then you realize, oh crap, my plan doesn't work. What? The only way you can get to that is to be in the game. The only way you can figure out what works and what doesn't is to get punched. And then you figure out, okay, this doesn't work. I need to duck this way, not this way. My assumption was this way. Now I need to move this way. So you have to be in the game to be able to do that. There's a thing as well about the toughness and the people around you. And then is when you get to that space where you're feeling down, it literally takes one word from someone to say, yeah, this probably isn't worth it. And you're out. You need that people who's going to say, keep on going, push it further, etc., etc. Because it's only once you start executing it that you start figuring it out, and then you get to the curve where everything just starts exponentially growing. So there's times that I didn't want to carry on with it. And that's why, again, I create my environment in a space where it's easy for me to make decisions. So one of the things I did is I created videos on social media. Hey guys, I'm busy with this 90-day challenge. This is my attempt. I want to make $1 million in 90 days. I'm going to do it in this way, and this way, and this way. And now there's a whole bunch of people that I made a commitment to be able to do it. I didn't need to do that. There was no intent behind it. The reason I did it was, firstly, maybe it inspires one other person to do that. Second thing is, now I'm accountable. Now there's no stop. Now there's no quitting. Nothing else that I can do now. I have to carry on with it. And what's when your once becomes your must? That's where you exceed. So what can I do to change what I want to? Must do this. And that's, again, by shaping the environment. So starting out, just hang out with the right people. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. Know that it's going to be tough. And then when it's tough, cool. I knew it. Yeah. And I'm prepared to go through it. And then again, just what I mentioned earlier is make sure that there's bigger reason for it than the money. What is it that you want? You know, maybe just something of inspiration is, what's the process that most people go through? They wake up, get ready for work, drop off the kids, do all the stuff, go to work, spend 8, 10, 12 hours at work, finish, race home, make food, cook dinner, put the kids in the bath, put them in bed, say night to your husband in bed. Tomorrow morning, I repeat the same cycle for the 40 years. That really our life is supposed to be? Surely there should be a better way to live than that. Then that comes to the balancing, which we can discuss later. It's about doing the things that truly matter to you. There's saying that a great mentor told me a while ago, life by itself has no meaning. We get born, we get kept safe, educated, procreate, we protect, then we die. Same cycle as any other animal on this planet. So life by itself, in a sense of that, has no meaning. Our purpose is to give it meaning, is to do things that truly give you our life. Does it give your life meaning to do the same thing that you hate over and over and over for 40, 50, 60 years? So I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying do it in a space that you're truly passionate about, that makes an impact, and that gives you some sort of meaning to be able to do that. So I do that. I follow the cycle. I work 12, 13, 14 hours a day, and I enjoy the heck out of it. It is fun every single day. Even the downturns, fun. Because I know I've been through it. What's the worst that can happen? Because our stress and anxiety is thinking about a future state and a potential outcome that hasn't even happened yet. Now we're creating all this anxiety. And even though you're aware of it, you still do it. You are aware of these things and you still do it. So future state, really important. People you spend your time with, really important. The idea is not the golden nugget. The execution of the idea is the golden nugget. Execute, execute, execute. Keep innovating, keep changing. And just make sure that you hang out with the right people. I think that is probably the number one key thing. And then have fun. It's going to be tough. Enjoy it. Some of the funnest things you've ever done in your life, kickboxing, climbing, hiking, whatever. It's fun when you're done with it. When you're done with the suffering parts of it, you're like, I am so happy I did this. So it'll be worth it.
Oh my gosh, great advice and great message, Eugene. And we always used to say suffering is optional, right? You need to have fun through it. And so, okay, a few last questions, and then I'll get you to share where everybody can find you and what's next for you. What would you say, Eugene, would be like, you've created so much, right? You've lived a full life. We haven't even talked about things outside of business. Yet, what would you say is your version of success today?
That's an interesting question. I think something that, good question, there's a couple of things that come to mind. One of it is, if you had unlimited wealth, unlimited money, what would you be doing today? Do that. If you're doing that, success. If you reach a place of pure enjoyment, peace and freedom, mentally, emotionally, not locationally, people just think freedom is a 2-week holiday. It's about emotion, what's going on in your head, your stress, anxiety, depression, all that sort of stuff, where you're free from all this, let's call it man-created symptoms. Do you think 500 years ago there was a thing like depression when you're walking into battle, swinging a sword, and there's action, there's progress, you don't get to a space of depression. It's when there's no whatever. I'm not a psychologist, just my observations. So imagine getting to a space where you wake up every morning, you're absolutely passionate about what you're doing. You've made enough money to not ever worry about money again, not because you've got the money in your bank account, because you know you can create it over and over. Because money doesn't get created, it gets attracted. You've reached the space where you understand how money gets attracted, so you don't worry about money. You wake up with the person that you love, doing the things that you love, living in a beautiful environment. Environment's really important for me. What my house looks like, what my environment looks like, what nature, I enjoy nature. Having that, spending it with people that you love, your tribe, your community, your friends, you go to work, and you don't go to work with your customers, you go to work with people who's on a similar journey to you. Because entrepreneurship's not 8 to 5, entrepreneurship's a lifestyle. It's how we live. And I think waking up in the morning, having that, what more do you want?
Yeah.
Because after, if you think about it, after like maybe 10 million or so, what else is there? What else is there that you can buy that will dramatically influence your state of joy or peace or happiness? There's nothing else. Anything beyond that is just buying another Ferrari. It's not going to do anything in my life. After that, it's about impact. What impact are you making? What legacy are you leaving? Leaving the world in a better space than what you found it. And then I think very important is to have fun. Enjoy it. Life has no meaning. What will give you meaning? Doing things that truly matter, that makes an impact, that makes it different. So for me, that would sum up success. And then I think, how do you get successful in business? Is you stay in business. So play the game. It's a lifelong journey. Entrepreneurship's a lifestyle. The game, there's no end point to it. There's no retirement to it. It's just a space where we get more meaning, more purpose, more impact. There's more. Let's ever reach to an end.
I love everything you shared. And one thing that I love is when you're saying play the game, I think it's a really important message for entrepreneurs, because a lot of entrepreneurs come in and I think there's this underlying, let's call it anxiety or overwhelm or frustration, because there's this sense of, I need to get there. I need to arrive. I need to am I there yet? And it's like, if you let that go, you surrender and just know you're playing the game and there's no timeline, it almost frees up energy and frees up space and vibration. And you can I almost feel like I could breathe even when you start. I just play the game and play the long game. And that's it. That, right? And have fun doing it. And I love your message, Eugene. So, okay, so last question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And part of that is money. The amount of money you have is a reflection of how well are you playing the game. Are you playing according to the rules? What game are you playing? Are you playing soccer, rugby, NBA, whatever? What game are you playing? Each one's got different rules. Same in business. Business has got a certain set of rules. Play according to the set of rules of business. And the amount of money you have is a reflection of how well you are playing the game. Yeah. If you're not making money, go figure out what rules are you not playing by.
Yeah, no, great point. My mentor used to say, and it's hard yet true, to say, if you're not making money, it's a hobby, not a business.
Yeah.
It's true, right? So you also do want to be making money. So exactly. And so Eugene, what would you say it would be an action that you would, all the listeners have been listening to this, what's one thing, like a call to action, you would guide them to do when they hop off this episode today? Speaking of being in action and implementing, what's one thing they could go and do?
If it's about business, then I'd say figure out what problem are you solving. Because the amount of money you make is also a reflection. If you want to make more money, solve a bigger problem. So what problem are you solving and who are you solving it for? People say, my clients don't have money. So find different clients. Solve the problems of the rich. You also mentioned it on one of our calls. So figure out a problem. There's no such thing as marketing doesn't work. Marketing always works. If marketing doesn't work, you're on site. Create compelling offers. Because you can have a customer journey, you can have all these great products, etc., etc. You can have amazing funnels. You can't get someone to convert from the top line, create a transaction. None of that other stuff matters. Because marketing always works when your offer is good enough. It's the easiest thing in the world to get an ad onto Facebook. Get someone to click on it, different story. If you get your ad there, no problem. If people aren't clicking, it's not marketing's fault. It's your product sucks. Create a different product, create a different offer. Stack the offer, whatever. Do a compelling offer. So figure out the problem, then create a compelling offer to attract your ideal customers. So that's from a business perspective. I think from a personal perspective, is figure out what you want in your life. I talk to people and ask them, what do you want? And they tell me, I just want to be happy. Are you not happy now? There's a thing that says money doesn't buy happiness. Okay, so that insinuates that poverty buys happiness. Is that true? So if neither one does, just be happy and make a ton of money. Because they're not related to each other, although it's a lot easier to be happy when your choices are, should I fly business class or first class versus I'd love to fly one day. And then from that personal perspective is don't just define your life ambition is I want to be happy, or I just want enough money to be okay. What is okay? You're probably okay now. So why do you want more money? So go and figure it out. Oh, I can see myself waking up in this beautiful house and I'm walking, and who's the person next to me? What's the color of the floor? What car am I driving? Who am I spending my time with? What's the impact I'm making? You can see walking into this kitchen and I'm shaking someone's hand. Who's standing opposite me? You need to have it detailed in that perspective. Create the dream life. You also mentioned it on our program that I did with you in 2018. Creating your dream life now. Not a future state, it's now. Because one can't differentiate between time zones. Because it's, you can't go into time. So figure out that. And then I think lastly is just find people that you love and spend time with them. It is probably one of the great joys is to share an experience. What gives your life meaning? Experiences. What's the experience if you do it alone? Lucky. What's the experience when you do it with someone that you love? Amazing. To make enough money by playing the game so that you can do all the other things that money can't buy, like sharing an experience. I guess money bought it because you flew there in a plane that money bought. So going on these shared experiences that's magical and being in the moment in those experiences, we can be in the moment and long for something better at the same time. Hang out with people that you love, make a ton of money. It's not difficult. Doing the certain amounts of things, right actions, consistently over time. Put in the time, put in the effort. It's going to be hard. So find the people that's going to support you. Take it through it. Get a coach, get a mentor, get people to support you, and then work on stuff that you're passionate about. Life is just too short to do shit that sucks.
Yeah, I love it. And on that note, Eugene, I just love spending time with you. I love chatting with you. I love picking your brain. I love learning from you. I love doing business together, like life together. I'm excited to come back to South Africa. I know I keep saying that. Yeah, I will be back there. I really do feel like it's my second home, and I met the most wonderful people, yourself and your fiance included. And just really excited to see what's next for you and what you continue to create. And you just shared so much with me. I appreciate your time. Where can people find you? So if people want your services, you guys, Eugene is a master at marketing and sales funnel and business. And you can tell from his message, I hope you can hear his passion, that his whole goal is to help you get what you want. Eugene, where can people find you?
I think the easiest place would probably be ecom adventure. ecom_adventures on Instagram. So just ECOMM_adventure. Yeah. It's a funny thing, although I'm in marketing, I don't spend any time on social. So the only platform I ever go to is Instagram. Because there's a thing that says likes is vanity, sales is reality. Make a ton of money from social media. I do it through paid advertising though. And get my customers, they go through to landing pages because websites don't matter anymore. You can just scan your website. It doesn't work. Landing pages, funnels, etc. just uses 10 times more results. And I don't spend any time on there. I don't really have any online collateral. Everything I do is hidden pages on funnels. So ecom adventures, ecom_adventures, Instagram, send me a message. We go and follow. Maybe one day I'll start sharing more stuff on social media.
No, I love it. Well, what I'll do too is I'll put your information in the show notes. I can throw your email in there. If you want your phone number, they could throw that on there. They could WhatsApp you, things like that. So I'll make sure that people can get a hold of you. We'll chat afterwards.
Yeah, I actually think just WhatsApp would be the best because I also, believe it or not, don't use email. I get rid of something doesn't work. Get rid of it. If you are posting once a day on social for the last year and you haven't generated one customer, why the hell are you still posting? Like, if it doesn't work, stop doing it. Yeah. What's happening with email? I don't find any use in email, so I stopped using it. I don't find any enjoyment in posting on social media, so I just stopped doing it and focus on the things that truly matter.
Wow,
so what's it?
A whole new perspective in itself. Okay, so we're going to give out your WhatsApp number. You have to get a hold of Eugene. And Eugene, just thanks for being here. And just, I really, really appreciate your time and excited to see you go from 10 million, or sorry, from 1 million rand to 10 million rand. We'll have you on, you on after that happens.
Yeah, for sure. And Kelly, just one question from my side. What is your...
Yeah, so I created this podcast for this reason. One, I wanted to make an impact. A lot of things you chatted about. I wanted to make an impact and build a community. I wanted to be able to lift up and have a platform for my friend to share. I know so many people and I have so many entrepreneurial friends in my life, and I wanted to have them be more visible. I wanted to create connection and collaboration so that my network could use your services, Eugene, and you might hear somebody else on here who has something that could be a solution for you. We talk about resources and your network equals your net worth and building community. And so I really wanted to have a podcast where people can have resources accessible. People could share who they are and the impact that they want to offer. And also, too, I love talking business. I love talking personal development. That's my passion. So this is me being able to live my passion out and hopefully share it with people that if I can inspire one person who's listening today to go and do something different in their life that changes their direction for the better, that makes me get out of bed in the morning.
Amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for doing, Billy.
Thanks for asking. And so just have an awesome evening because it's nighttime there. I'm just starting my morning. And we'll catch up personally outside of the podcast, Eugene. And just thanks again. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly.
Such great insights from my good friend Eugene, all the way over in South Africa, around how to elevate our mindset and elevate our results through challenging ourselves and taking ourselves on, playing in what is uncomfortable for ourselves, stretching ourselves, playing to win, and most importantly, playing the game, being willing to be all in around the things that we desire for ourselves, not just in business, yet in life. And the beautiful thing of all of that, it's the person that you become, right, along the way. And I think that's the gift of setting goals in the first place is, yes, it's about achieving them. More importantly, it's about the version of who you become along the way. And so Eugene's just such a great example of that. And so I encourage you to reach out and connect with him around what he's an expert at, which is funnels, sales funnels, helping you grow your business, get clients, and put money in your pocket. And just really appreciate you listening. Please like and comment. Head over to my YouTube channel, Entrepreneurial Elevation, and subscribe. I would be forever grateful. And just once again, thank you so much for listening. With love, greatness, and success, it's your host, Kelly Beveridge.